Good afternoon, guys. And this is Coach Kier bringing to you this week's trade training. Now, we've had a tie with the poll that I would have sent on the channel. And the question on the poll was, if you guys wanted me to do a trade training on V formations, the Euro USD Fibonacci strategy, or the bounce back. And we had a tie where persons asked for a V formation strategy video, and then one on bounce back. So given that bounce back is a hot topic for the last 2 weeks, I'm going to start with that. So this training in this video will be on bounce back solely, and I will be taking you through the groups you should be in, the Telegram channel, the units you need to complete. When Stevenson Linder does his training on bounce back during the week, and then we're actually going to sign into the bounce back and look and see how we can identify when the trade is ready. All right, so guys, if you do not already have your notepad and pen, please do so now, because we are going to get fully into the trade training, and it's going to be a bit detailed, but it is very simple. So I just need you guys to follow with me as I take you through. All right, so I'm going to share my screen now. Great. So first of all, active IML members, guys, if you have not joined the IML bounce back group as yet, simply go into Facebook, type in the search engine IML bounce back, and you should see the group popped up. All you need to do is click join, right? You should see it somewhere around here, and somebody will approve you to join the group. Okay, it's very simple, very easy. Just need to look for the group and join. Now, why would you want to get into this group? A couple of reasons, right? So Stevenson Linder, he sends out training on here twice a week, on a Monday and Wednesday. I think it's either 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I will need to confirm because of the time differences, right? But this group has training that they put out every single week. So if you are not comfortable with using the bounce back strategy, guess what? You have the training here. All you need to do is go to the left-hand side. You're going to see units, all right? I want you guys to make sure that you have completed all of the units, right? Make sure you have completed all of the units. It's really good training, helps you to prepare yourself for the strategy, right? It also gives you access to Telegram. Everything is in there on the bounce back. So you want to really make this group your favorite. Some other stuff as well that they send out is they actually save the weekly training on the news feed. So in the notifications, if you guys look, you will see that you have, once you scroll down, you will see all of the recorded live sessions, usually posted by Brandon Boyd, right? So just have a look and you guys will see it there. So if you need additional training, always remember, guys, you can tune in Monday and Wednesday on here. They often do a live video and then they save it onto the Facebook group. There are units here for you to complete, right? And then you can always refer to this video that I am doing now with you as well. All right, so once you've done this, you will then, before I go to the, so IML bounce back, you can access the bounce back on the home screen of iMarkets Live itself under products, or you could just type IML bounce back .com, and the website should appear. All right, so this is what it looks like. On the left-hand side, you would see two images. One is Lex Waves and the other one is Stevenson Lindor. So it depends on the strategy that you guys like the most. Lex Waves tend to use volume, as well as, you know, he has his own strategy of what he uses for hair. I think he uses the Elliott's Wave as well. And then we have Stevenson Lindor. And Stevenson, he uses the MACD, right? The MACD and the EMA with the Bollinger Bands, and that's it. Very simple, right? So this is what it looks like. Over here, you will see a phone next to Let's Waves. If you click on it, it will take you straight into Telegram, and it will ask you to join this group, right? And it'll just show you guys what that Telegram group looks like. Great. So let me just expand this. So this is the bounce back here. And basically, guys, every time a new trade is set out on IML bounce back itself, Telegram sends you a notification letting you know that a new bounce back entry has been uploaded. It also gives you the website that you can, you know, click straight into from here, etc. So this is really good, because until we have an app available so that we can just get the notifications and sign into it all in the same platform, right now you're getting notifications through Telegram. So utilize joining this group so you can get the notifications for Telegram, right? So all you need to do, if we go back here, is where you see the phone icon next to Lex Waves, you just click on the phone and it will take you straight to the Telegram, right? Next to that, now you have your question mark. And this question mark kind of gives you some information on Bounce Back, you know, how it all started, and, you know, just a little training, right? So if you can see here, where do I find my stop loss and take profit, et cetera, et cetera. So this is just some did you know information here, where the question mark is. And then next to that is the logo button, right? So guys, I just want you guys, before we get very much into detail with the bounce back, there's a couple of things you need to know, right? First, you need to have completed the academy, right? Not just basics 1 to 4. You need to have completed and have a firm understanding on the academy, right? So that is key, because if you come to the bounce back thinking that you could enter in the trades, you know, without having any knowledge on anything, then you would realize that you're not going to be making a lot of profitable trades like the rest of us, right? So you need to make sure that you have a good understanding of trading from the academy. Guys, there's no shortcut to this thing, right? A lot of persons come to me and ask me, you know, about shortcuts, etc. Guys, just follow what is out there. The information is there. Just get it done, right? So the academy is the first thing you need to do, all right? Then you need to study trend lines, because in the bounce back strategy, you will be using trend lines. You need to know how to draw them. You need to know if you're placing them on the wicks or the bodies. You need to have this information. Otherwise, you will not know what structure price needs to break through in order to validate the trade ID, right? So I'm gonna go back again and share my screen. And let's look at Euro JPY. So all you need to do is click on the trade, right? You just need to click on the trade. Today we had Euro JPY, sell Euro JPY around 124.752, right? On time frame 1 hour. So once you click on the trade, the 1 hour time frame and everything will show up here. So you don't actually need to go and look for the 1 hour chart. It will direct you straight to the 1 hour chart, right? Now, what I want you guys to do from here is identify the price point that they're telling you about. So all you have to do, you can do it with a horizontal ray, for example, plot it anywhere on the screen. It doesn't matter, right? Then look for this type of bar here, this toolbar, click settings, and in the settings, you would put the interested price that they would have posted. In this case, it was 124.752. So we have it there, 124.752. Click OK. And what that does is that puts the horizontal ray, at the area that we are interested in, right? So as you can see, this is the 124.752. Okay, so once you have that, then we can proceed. So now you know that information, we now look to draw trend lines because we need to know if this trade is ready for us to take it. So what you do is that you come down at least 2 time frames. You draw down to at least 2 time frames. In this case, I will draw down to the 15-minute. And what you want to do is try to identify the trend, right? Because on the 1 hour chart, if we go back to the 1 hour, you can see that this is an uptrend. We draw a trend line on here. Let's say we started it from here, right? You can see that this is a uptrend, right? And what we're looking for is for structure to break. So we come down to the 15-minute chart, right, to see our entry. Now we know that this is the entry point that the signal has told us about. So if we come here, we can draw another trend line as well on 15-minute time frame. In this case, we can use here, right? So what we're looking for, we know that we're going to sell the trade, right? We need price to break this trend line. Yes, it told us this is the entry point. I don't want you guys to too much focus on that. That just gives you an idea of where we would love to, you know, get the sell going. However, it is important that you draw your trend lines on the bounce back strategy, right? So I've drawn this trend line here on the 15-minute. This would have been 2 time frames down because we've gone the signal on the 1 hour. We could have gone on the 30-minute, but I skipped that and came down to the 15-minute, right? So this is the 15-minute time frame. We're waiting for a price to break this structure, right? Now, that's the first thing. The second thing is that we need to now see the MACD cross on the histogram. Now, the crosses are identified through this 0 line. So let me look for it. I'm going to put a horizontal line so you guys can see where the 0 line is. Let me just adjust it slightly. Let me adjust it, right? So that is the 0 line, right? What we're looking for is for the MACD, not just the only cross. Crossing, yes, gives us the signal that a sell is going to happen. Once this blue line here goes below this orange line, we have a signal that the sellers are now coming in, right? But what we want is we want more confirmation. So the confirmation we're looking for is for these two lines to cross the zero line. So long as they cross the zero line and come underneath, it tells us that there's a change in the trend, right? So like for example, over here, you could see that once the MACD, the lines are under here, means that we are now in a type of downtrend, right? And over here, when it crossed and went above the zero line, then we were in a type of uptrend. So what we're looking for is for the lines to cross under the zero line. As soon as you get that cross and you already have the confirmation that the trade has broken your trend line, that is a goal. It means you can now enter the trade because you would have had your confirmations. So remember, you need two confirmations. You need the first confirmation is for the trade to break your trend line, right? Once you have the breaking of the trend line, then you look for the confirmation in the MACD. So all you need to do is wait for the MACD to cross the zero line. Soon as it crosses the zero line and you have your first confirmation, you are now free to enter the trade. The trade has now validated your sell opportunity, right? So even in this trade got called a couple hours ago, I think like 3 or 4 hours ago. And some persons already had entered the trade, but you did not get your confirmation with the trade as yet. Yes, the sellers has now started to apply pressure in the last 1 hour or so, right? But for me, the trade has not broken my trend line. Therefore, I'm waiting now for the MACD to cross, right? I'm waiting for the MACD to cross as well as the trend line to be broken for me to then say, yes, I'm definitely going to enter this trade, right? So right now, I am not in this trade. Let's look at another example. So NZDJPY, and it says to sell NZDJPY around 73.667. So remember, step 1, horizontal ray, place anywhere on the chart, go to the settings tab and change the coordinates to 73.667, right? That shows you where you would ideally like to sell price, right? So remember, it got called on the 1 hour time frame. So you can start to draw your trend lines. You can draw one on the 1 hour time frame, but remember that you need to draw down, right? I think it was here when this trade got called. Right, you need to make sure that you draw down 2 time frames. So we know it got called on the 1 hour time frame. We're going to go to the 15-minute, right? And this is the trend line that we would have drawn. So what you're looking for here, right, is that we know this is the entry point, right? We're waiting for price to break this trend line. So when it broke, as you can see, you need a solid bodied candle to break this trend line. You don't want to see a wick. Like for example, you know, this particular one here had a wick, but the body was still above the trend line. You need to see the body of the candle below the trend line to validate that it has actually broken the trend line. What do you need to see next? You need to now see the MACD cross the zero line. So you can see here, this trade got called, right? And we had the MACD crossing the zero line, right? So not only did the blue cross the orange here to validate our sell, but we also have just 2 candles down, the MACD actually crossing the zero line. So that's the confirmation for that sell, right? So some of you probably still in this trade, waiting for it to continue to drop, right? So this is the confirmation that you need. It's very simple. The hardest thing in bounce back is drawing the trend line, right? Once you can identify the trend and draw the trend line, this is cake. I call this lazy trading, right? All you need to do is simple confirmations. Let's go to AUD USD. Simple confirmations, right? All you need to do is follow the steps that I have set, that Stevenson Linda has set, right? And you can mash this up. You can really mash this up. So 0.71537. So you're going to change your horizontal array, right? So we know that this is the area we wanted to sell AUD USD on the 1 hour time frame, right? Now this trade got called, I think this trade got called somewhere around here. So let us draw our trend lines. Let us draw our trend lines, right? Let's draw a trend line. So that's a trend line there for me. I come down to the 15-minute time frame to look to see what's happening, right? Now, as you can see, trade's still going up, right? But if you really look at the MACD, you will notice that the MACD never actually crossed the zero line. It's still holding above. So I know persons would have gone into this and still waiting for it, but this trade never crossed the zero line, right? So therefore, it has not yet activated our confirmations. It has never broke the trend line, right? And neither did it cross the zero line on the MACD, right? So you guys should not have entered into this. Let's look at AUD JPY. It is so simple, you guys. It is very, very simple. Now, AUD JPY, sell around 77.843. Right? So we are playing our horizontal array, 77.843. Right? And then now we're going to see if we can draw a trend line. I'm going to draw the trend line on the 15-minute time frame. Right? So we draw our trend lines now. And I think this got called somewhere around here in this area. Now this would have been, you can clearly see that this is an uptrend, right? So again, you're looking for price to break your structure. So break this trend line, which you have here. You have a solid body candle breaking this trend line, right? So confirmation number one. And the second confirmation is that you have the trade crossing the zero line, right? So you could have caught, in this particular one, you could have caught at least 40, 50 pips, right? You could have caught a decent amount. I know a lot of persons that was in this trade that really secured the buy. It is really simple. So all you guys need to do is draw the trend line. So look for the trend, draw the trend line, right? Wait for a price to break the trend line, as you can see here, with a solid body candle, and then wait for the MACD to cross the zero line on the histogram, which means that if the trend was in an uptrend, then as long as it crossed the histogram, means that we now have a change in trend, right? So guys, I can add an additional one. You can, in terms of entries, because yes, you could have entered here. If you guys need to have a better look and see where to enter, you can wait. For example, you can come down to the 5-minute time frame, right? Where it would have broke structure, and then you had this candle retesting the trend line. you could have entered there on the 5-minute time frame. Because then if you look on the 5-minute time frame, you will see that price has actually broken the zero line. It broke structure and retested. That could have been your sell entry there. And then you could have taken that trade all the way down, right? So I'm just gonna add that as an additional for some of you. If you wanted to get your accurate entry, once you've drawn up your trend line on the trade, for entry, you could come down to the 5-minute time frame, right? And wait for a price to retest, right? So you could have entered here, which would have given you the confirmations. You had the break of the trend line, you had a slight retest, as well as if you see down here, you will notice that you have the cross of the zero line on the MACD. Very simple, very, very simple, right? So guys, I don't want to keep this too long. As I said, this is a very simple strategy, right? Persons are making a lot of money with the bounce back strategy. It is simple for you to use, right? And for you to duplicate to beginners, for you to duplicate to persons who want that product that they can just get notifications and they just draw a trend line and wait for entry. Persons that are looking for something simplified, very simple for them to use while they're at work or whatever, this is the product for you, right? It is very simple. I'm using this product, right? A lot of persons that in this organization that are already making a lot of money is still using this product, right? So guys, thank you for tuning in today with the bounce back strategy. As I said, it is very simple. You just need to, one, identify the trend, right? So make sure you start off first by actually drawing the horizontal ray and adjusting it to the price point of interest, right? Then you, one, draw the trend line, right? So identify the trend by drawing the trend line. Two, wait for the trade to break the trend line. And then three, confirm it with the trade also with the zero line being crossed on the MACD, right? And for entries, for tight entries, come down to the 5-minute time frame and you can enter there based on the crossing of the MACD on the same zero line. And you can also enter it there based on the retest, right? Which I would have shown you in the last three. So guys, thanks again for joining in, and I will catch you on the next training call.